So I've already laid out a parting line here. So I'm going to split this nut in half. This is a grade 8, extra long, heavy duty nut. And I'm not too crazy about trying to part it in the lathe. So we're just going to cut it with the bandsaw, and then we'll come back and we'll face off. We'll clean up all the faces and we'll face off the cut. I was a little fiddly getting those split in half. I just took a series of cuts, just kept going around the outside. So here's the, I don't know, the original nut, but the nut that the grinder came with. So we've still got a little extra meat left, which will be good. By the time we face this off, give it a little bevel, I think it'll be perfect. We got to make sure that our wheels can slip over that nut. So this one is no problem, plenty of clearance, but the new ones are just a little bit too big. So what we'll do, rather than try to recut these flats, we'll just take a little off the OD until we have some clearance. All right, let's head to the lathe. Take a little heavier cut, see what happens. You get that chip to break. That's a little much. Nope. Exactly 20 thousandths to go. Okay, we're going to take another 10 per side. Should be it. $749.5.
Man.
Missed it by a half thousandths. Alright, I'm going to put a little more thread relief on here. It's just a little too close for comfort. So we're trying out this brand new cutter, brand new to us. Let's see how she's going to work here. Alright, now we set up for threading. Alright, we took a scratch pass. There's a little touch off ring in there that makes it a little confusing, but yeah, we're right on 16. I think we're going to call it good. It's a little tight. I think we'll hit it with a little bit of Scotch-Brite and then see how it fits. Yeah, I've seen the little packs. The
Halo makes one that you see a lot.
Alright, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this or not. I don't have a good setup here for a camera angle. I'm just going to face this nut off. We put a couple washers. I deliberately made that thread a little long just to make it easier to thread. You guys see that at all? No. Okay, so apologies guys, I did not get all of this filmed. I was having some trouble with the insert I was using on the lathe, and we were getting email notices from the electric utility that, you know, that rotating power outages were imminent and we could lose power any minute. So we've been having a heat wave, and it's really been putting a strain on the power grid here. So what we did is we had made this mandrel previously for the balancing stand, so we just utilized the other end and we made a mandrel so that we could make these nuts. And what we had, this is the one nut that came with the grinder to hold the backing plate on. Okay, so, and it was working okay. It's a little small. I would rather have a little more contact on the hub. So since we had to make one anyways for the other side that was missing, we went ahead and made two. Okay, I had some washers on here, already put them away, but I had a couple washers back here so that we could keep off the end of the mandrel. We faced that off, put a little bevel on the hex here, and we also took a little off the diameter because this hex nut was a little large. One of the important things here is that when you're changing your grinding wheel, you got to be able to get it over that nut. Okay, so we got a little bit of extra clearance, but you know, we left as much on there as we could. All right, so these came out pretty good. One of the issues that I had, I was using this nut, and by the way, these are all 12/16. 3/4 16. I don't know where that came from. So 3/4 fine thread. So I was using this nut as my thread tester. Okay, and it's a used nut. Okay, so I should have been a little more vigilant and used more than one nut to check. This nut is worn out, so it's really sloppy. So what happened, I go, oh yeah, I got a good fit, and unfortunately I disengaged the feed on the lathe. I thought it was done, went to check the real nut and it was still too tight. So I had to go back and do a thread chase, had to you know, find our alignment again, our timing, and cut a little more on the mandrel so I could get it to screw on. But yeah, but we got there, we got it taken care of. We got our two nuts made. They're faced off to the thread bore so that they should be true. Okay, let me swing the camera around. We'll take a look at the next step here. We're set up in the balance stand. So we got, this is the original mounting plate. And guys, I would have bet the farm that there was no way I would be able to detect an out of balance, or it wouldn't be far enough out to even be able to measure it. But surprisingly, it's out quite a bit. So definitely worth the effort to check it. Yeah, so this is a casting, so there's probably some thickness variation. If it was fully machined, I doubt that it would be this far out. Okay, well, what fun would it be if Mr. Bozo didn't show up? My first lightning drill hole was in the wrong spot, of course. All right, I think we got it though. I've been working on this for a while. I'm surprised how much I had to take out. These bearings always have a little bit of rollback. Okay, all right, we're going to call that good. When we true this up, face it off, it's probably going to throw it out a little bit after we do that as well. All right, got to do the other one now. Okay, this is the brand new backing plate. I've already started testing this, and it's dead on right out of the box. Okay, so we're in the lathe. We got our backing plate on a mandrel. We got our center. We're gonna call it on this side, and I've been checking the run out here, and it looks like we've got right about 4 thousandths. Okay, and this is the old original plate. The new plate looked a lot better, but we'll check it too. But we're gonna face this off, clean it up. All right, trying a different insert, sharper edge to it. See if that's cleaning up. So we're still skipping down there. So let's dial in just a little bit more. Try her again. Looks like we cleaned up all the way around. Much better. We got all these bolt holes we gotta watch out for. Okay, let's see how it's running there. All right, good enough. Okay, I didn't show every step here, but we got the diamond wheel mounted on the back plate, and we did recheck the balance on the back plate, and I had to make just a slight adjustment. So now we're checking with it assembled here. There we go. Let's give her a spin. And I already did this. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, I think we got a winner here. You would not believe how heavy that diamond plate is. Just to see if I can balance this one. And I got it pretty good. But what I had to do, if you guys can see in there or not, this bolt right here, I got 3 washers underneath it, and it's a little bit longer bolt than the others, and that was about the right amount of weight. I just got the table pushed up all the way tight right now. We're just calibrating, so I've been squaring up the table like so, and we've calibrated or adjusted our pointers. Oh, there we go. So did both sides, and we put some O-rings on our handles here. That was a viewer suggestion. Probably gonna remaking this handle, but it'll do for now. Okay, after all that work of getting that back plate trued up, let's see what we ended up with. Somewhere around 5/1000th run out. Okay, I got the same issue that I think everybody else has. You can true these back plates up as best as you can over on the lathe, but when you get it over on the grinder, it doesn't come out true. And I think it has to do with the bore of the backing plate and the faces matching up to the collars on the shaft collar. There's enough give in the bore that it just ends up cocking slightly, and I've tried different things here. So I think the best course of action is just like Stan did, and we're just going to true this up right on the grinder. So we're working on finalizing the design here of our Mr. Mayhem tool bit holder. So I kind of like leaving this key stock long. That way it'll work like a handle. I'll be able to hold it out here, get better control. And I think this is where we're going to inlay our tool bit right there. That'll give us enough so that we have extra, some extra support on this side as we get close to the center, but still be able to get past the machined area here. And we're looking at, let me bring this closer out here, probably going to put some type of a grind that's going to look, there we go, something like that on our tool bit. Okay, and I want to leave, so I'm going to mill a slot in here to hold that tool bit, and I want to leave it slightly proud so we can put some type of a clamp on here to hold it down. Okay, so that's the general idea. It's going to fit right here, and I got to make a little hold down. Okay, and you guys across the pond are going to love this. We're using metric screws. Okay, I've got a pretty good supply of them. So these are M5 by 0.8 are the ones we're using. And I've got a couple other jars of these, so it's time to start using them. Okay guys, here's a look at our tool holder contraption we put together. We got a little tool bit here we just finished grinding up. Just put some back rake on it. We got a oh, maybe a 10-degree angle here. So we're going to be presenting this side to the cut, and we just have a really small radius on here. It's going to be probably Chatter City, so I just want to have the smallest cutting edge possible. I think that'll help. Okay, so our tool bit slides in there, and our little hold down clamp will hold it in place because this sits proud a little bit, and we'll be able to move that in and out. Okay, the other thing is I left this key stock long because it'll make a nice handle, but I just realized we got another issue. So I want the block to sit flat on the table. I wasn't planning on having the key stock as the vertical surface, so I made our keyway a little deeper so that this key stock would float. But what that's doing, it allows it to rock if you put pressure on the key stock. So I'm thinking I'm going to leave these screws backed off a little bit. I'll just put some Loctite on them. That way this can float in case I accidentally put some pressure on the key, because I'm going to be holding down here to keep the block flat on the table. But it's really easy to, you know, mentally not think of it and put some pressure on this key. So let me get these Loctited in off camera so that it's got a little bit of float. That'll hopefully help us from making that error. I think even with it floating, it's pretty tight back and forth, so it shouldn't affect our rigidity as far as making the cut. So this has been really tedious. What I'm doing, I'm trying to make sure that our miter slot here, the table, but mainly the slot, is 90 degrees perpendicular to the center line of the motor shaft. And we know that we have run out on our backing plate, so I can't just sweep the backing plate because it's not true. So I'm thinking that this is the best way to do this. So I'm using a piece of key stock. I'm holding our little indicator holder here against the key stock, against the miter slot, and I'm watching our dial indicator here. And then notice we got about a half a dial rotation, okay, until I hit the up against the key, and I'm just holding this by hand. I'm not going to use the magnet. Okay, so let me spin this. So you can see the range of our run out there. So we're just a little below 0 up to about 3. Okay, now let me come over on this side without bumping anything, and we'll get about a half a rotation on our dial. Okay, and then we're going to rotate. So we've got the same run out range. So in my mind, that means I've got the table slot 90 degrees true to the motor shaft. And let me tell you guys, trying to manipulate this table around, tapping it around, and then of course every time you tighten one of the bolts or nuts, it walks on you. So I've been doing this for a while, so I'm leaving it. It's within 1,000, so I think we're okay. But man, talk about tedious. Alrighty. Let's go for it. All right, so we definitely ended up with a chatter pattern. The H is gone where our high spot was. Our L is still there. So I made a couple spring passes, and it's took off a surprising amount of material. You know, I was able to adjust the pressure a little bit because there is some, you know, a little bit of play in this keyway. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Let me move this in to a different spot. Come in a little bit here. A little bit more right there. That's about as far in as I can go. Whoops. Watch out for the bolt pattern in there, screw pattern. Tell you what, that isn't bad. All right, I'm going to give it that Scotch-Brite buff, and then we'll see how it looks. I tried to find a worn out piece of Scotch-Brite or pad that wasn't all clogged up, so this one doesn't look too bad. My air pressure's down, which is good because I don't want this thing going full speed. Don't look half bad. I think we're going to live with that. Okay, I'm trying not to grind down the indicator tip, so I got a piece of paper in between. And I'm trying to hold it not to influence the indicator. We're calling it good, guys. Alright, this video is really getting long. I still need to dress this wheel. I don't think there's anything to gain by trying to true the back plate, because you're going to true the wheel when you dress the wheel. So I think we'll leave this side alone. At least that's the thought for tonight. Might change tomorrow, you never know. But yeah, I need to wrap this video up. Okay, it's coasting down, but just want to see what our contact feels like here. That's pretty good. There's not much skipping. And we're slowing down here. Should be more distinct as it slows down. There's a little bit of a skip there, but way better than what we started with. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. Okay, so I still need to make some miter gauges and so forth. I want to make a little drip system. Probably have to make our own cup because we didn't get that with this machine. But we'll probably do that in separate videos. I want to bring this series to a close here because it's just drug on for a long time. So anyways, thanks everybody for sticking with this, and hit that thumbs up button if you can, please, and the subscribe button, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you.